Alright, hello everyone. It's that time again to call out the Manhattan District Attorney. And you know I have called them out before in the past. And you know who I am talking about specifically. I am talking about Alvin! Yeah, I'm doing it for emphasis like, the chipmunks. Yes, Alvin Bragg. This guy right there. Now you may be wondering, why am I calling him out again? Well, I'm sure you've been seeing it on the news recently, but we got word last week that 5 illegal aliens from Venezuela assaulted an NYPD police officer. Well, actually, no, 2 cops got assaulted. Excuse me there. And apparently now, they are fleeing to go south of the border to go to Mexico to flee prosecution. And these guys are smart. Give them credit on that. But, yeah, it's disgusting. So, no bail was sought. Basically, they treated it like it was nothing. The Manhattan DA and his wonderful staff treated it like it was nothing. Alright? So, let's see what the NBC New York article said. So it says here that it's been almost 2 weeks since this incident, that it's made national headlines. The Manhattan District Attorney initially dodged questions back on Friday as to why his office did not seek bail for several of the suspects involved, some of who have since fled New York. I'll zoom in so you can read this. There we go. So the Manhattan DA declined to answer questions on Friday regarding the case and why several migrants accused of assaulting police officers were released without bail. He did not respond when asked if he thought requesting bail was a mistake, instead walking past reporters without saying much at all. Seemingly caught off guard by the questions, Bragg offered only one answer. Quote, "We will speak in court." No, Alvin. No. No. We're going to hold you accountable. I've tried to hold you accountable before, Alvin. But now here's another example of why I got to hold you accountable. Okay? So, Alvin attended a law enforcement conference which reporters were invited to by Crime Wave Kathy Hochul, as we're going to call her, our wonderful governor, who obviously could care less about our declining quality of life every single day here. She has made it clear that she disagrees with the decision to let the suspects go free without bail and has called for the attackers to be deported. And yes, we will actually watch the video clip of her saying that at the very end when we read this article. So basically, Crime Wave Kathy said, the problem was not about weak bail laws, but rather the failure to use the laws in place. The governor said, all I know is that an assault on a police officer means you should be sitting in jail. And yes, I agree with her. Alright, it's a joke. Now in New York, you can basically get away, basically if you're in Manhattan. Now, if this was a Nassau County cop, as an example, or a Suffolk County cop that got assaulted, I guarantee you, in Nassau, the DA Ann Donnelly, Suffolk Ray Tierney, for an example, I guarantee you, these 5 lowlifes beat up the cop. The same thing happened in Long Island. They'd be facing prosecution immediately. They would be held in jail till their court date. Alright? Because this is just disgusting. This is just disgusting that this is allowed to happen. Because Hochul just refuses to fix the bail laws. Or the fact that she's not going to do the job and basically tell Alvin to pack his bags and get lost. Alright? Now you understand why I voted for Lee Zeldin in 2022. All right? This was the reason why. Oh, and then look at this. So apparently at the same news conference, my district attorney in Queens, Melinda Katz, was also invited. Oh boy. The Manhattan DA and the governor met behind closed doors, but was noticeably absent when Crime Wave Cafe emerged for a news conference with several other district attorneys from Queens, Brooklyn, and Westchester. Alright, so basically, long story short, Crime Wave Cafe confirmed that she discussed the incident with the Manhattan DA, adding that she was confident there would be more charges brought. Hours later, Mr. Bragg convened an early evening press conference to try and clarify his position, insisting that he would not tolerate attacks on police following days of criticism and silence from his office. Mr. Bragg said, "We do not tolerate or accept assaults on police officers. I watched the tape this week, despicable behavior, and it sickened and outraged me." By the way, we are not going to watch the tape. If anybody's asking, am I going to play the tape? No, I'm not playing the tape. Alright? Because we're not going to glorify violence on this channel. So, I don't want to read his liberal excuse. Like, come on, I'm telling you, if this was Long Island, those guys would be held overnight. Jail. Right? If you beat up a police officer, you're supposed to be in jail before you face the judge. Right? Not freed and not and just given it. These guys were given a death ticket appearance. Same old status quo in New York with our weak bail laws. It surprised me? No. And then look at this. One suspect had bail set and is currently being held on Rikers Island. Like, really? Okay, so 7 suspects have been arrested. 13 people have been involved in the attack. NYPD Chief of Patrol John Chell said several of the suspects are migrants, while police were familiar with some from past incidents. Alright, so this is what John Chell said. Some of them live in the migrant shelter. They appear to be migrants. I don't know when they got here. Some of them already have lengthy records. They were arrested or will be arrested, should be indicted, and of course, exactly, should be sitting in Rikers, and of course, should be going to Manhattan Criminal Court. Exactly! But again, this is bail reform. And not that many people outside of New York understand how bad our loose bail laws are in New York. It's awful. Yep. So basically, these guys used fake names, went to Port Authority bus terminal, and they went right to the California-Mexico border. Yep. Federal officials say that in many cases, New York officials do not alert them when an undocumented defendant is being released from court or jail. A spokesperson for the Manhattan District Attorney's Office said bail was not sought in part because they were still sorting out which defendants committed which acts during the assault. Oh boy. Look at this. So supposedly, their next court date is on Monday, March 4th. Only question is, will they show up? That is the question. Because you know what happens with these death ticket appearances. They'll get them. But then what happens is, when they don't show up, there'll be a warrant for their arrest. When they don't show up to court. Right? Look at this. Look what's going on with the undocumented migrants, all right? So, says that residents living at 30 of the 200 cities' migrant shelters have been arrested more than 1,200 times since 2023. Records show the top crimes include petite larceny, assault, grand larceny, endangering the welfare of a child, and robbery. So, this is interesting. Terry Moynihan, who used to be chief of department for the NYPD, said, "Well, the vast majority of migrants are coming to the U.S. to seek better lives. Crime is a growing problem." And again, this is the same cycle. It's called catch and release. You will catch them. And again, this has been the problem since the bail reform law went into effect 4 years ago. They'll catch you, and then they'll just let you go. Now, in a state like Florida and Texas, you commit a crime, boom, jail. And I watch a lot of these videos here on YouTube of body cam videos in Florida. 100% of the time I watch these videos, when they confront a suspect, 100% of the time I see them get put in cuffs. Even if it's for a minor offense. So Florida seems to care more about letting the cops doing their jobs than New York ever will. So, Crime Wave Kathy better mean her words. Alright? And why am I going to give her the monocle of Crime Wave Kathy? Well, yeah, Curtis Leva was the first to give her the name. Because he said to me, "You're kind of being harsh calling her the Wicked Witch of Buffalo." And I'm like, okay. Then what do you suggest? Crime Wave Kathy. And I'm like, right, because I've been noticing in the 111 robbery's gone up since November. And he's like, you're right. Because Curtis and Vicky Palladino do have a working relationship. Still, they speak to each other on a weekly basis. But that's besides the point. And then Patrick Henry, who was on Good Day New York last week, said, "Why aren't they in jail right now? They brutally attacked a police officer and a lieutenant. Our criminal justice system is upside down." Yep. So about 2 weeks ago, the migrants were involved in a scrap right by the New Amsterdam Theater. 13 people were involved in the attack. So, basically, we know what happened. We've seen the video outside of YouTube, and we are not going to play the video. But I am going to show you the location of where this might have taken place. Now, first of all, I am not thrilled with the mayor when it comes to the location. I do apologize. Why is it listing me on 43rd Street? I don't want to go on 43rd Street. I do apologize. Here we go. Right around here. This is where it happened. Right around here. This is the New Amsterdam Theater. In fact, let me get you a better view of it from 2021, because this bus is blocking. Right around here. So, they put a migrant shelter in this area. Now, the reason why I'm not thrilled with this location It's right by Bryant Park. That's why I'm not happy about this whole situation in the first place. So, it's bad enough that H to the Izzo, H to the Vizzy, and I'm referring to Jay-Z, he thinks it's okay. He wants to put a casino near Bryant Park where, again, I know people in the Conservancy, they do not want a casino near the park. And by the way, I agree with the people in Flushing. They should not have a casino in their neighborhood near Citi Field. What's Steve Cohen thinking? But now, Eric Adams says, uh-oh, I'm going to put a migrant shelter, one of Andy Pollock's favorite spots in the city. Uh-oh. Yep. I mean, it's so obvious what's going on here. Alright, so it said one lieutenant suffered a cut to his face, the other had injuries to the side of his body. So. Look at this. ICE has not committed on whether they have attempted to detain the defendants. Here we go. New York Sanctuary City status does not prevent police from coordinating with ICE. Okay. Well, it's a messed up issue right now. And I'll just say this. If you've not been following the election closely, Donald Trump has mentioned that if he becomes the president again, he's going to supposedly, as part of his Project 2025 agenda, he has said that he wants to supposedly begin the largest deportation project in our country's history. So I'm going to quickly read this New York Times article, basically edited for politically correct reasons, because, you know, if I were to read the Wikipedia article, it might get me canceled. So let me quickly read this one. Here we go. Yes, here we go. Mr. Trump plans to score the country for unauthorized immigrants and deport people by the millions per year. So, this is basically a main point of the Project 2025 agenda that Trump has been pushing. Now, it could be very interesting because President Dwight Eisenhower did the same thing in his first term as president in 1954. And I'm not going to say the name of the, executive order, but we'll see. Because Trump has mentioned he does want to consider restarting the construction of the border wall. And this weekend in Texas, Governor Greg Abbott said that they're constructing their own wall. So this is going to be a hot topic issue going forward in the election. And you're already seeing interest in the 3rd Congressional District, next week's race between Tom Suozzi and Mazi Billup. So to wrap up this video, let's quickly hear from Governor Hochul. And then we're going to wrap up this video. So I thank you for watching. And we have to call out Alvin Bragg. And I may have to issue a rebuttal in the future. Because there's going to be more out of the story coming soon. So what do you have to say, Governor, to wrap up this video?
If someone commits a crime against a police officer in the state of New York, and they're not, they're not here legally, definitely worth checking into.
According